Dear Diary, Dr. Dekker is dead. Again. Alderby pushed him from the cliff's edge, 2,500 feet. His body wasn't found, obviously. I want him to be dead this time, but the world still feels cold. Maybe because Professor Alderby is dead too. Killed by one of us. Maybe all of us. But there's hope. A new doctor is coming. I hope they find Professor Alderby's killer. I hope they can cure us. I hope they stay alive. Dr. Dekker is still here. I can feel him.
You've come a long way, Doctor. And from one therapist to another, I think you're ready to start practicing again, to help new patients. But how do you feel? Excellent. Last time was difficult for you. I know. See, you are ready. I mentioned last time, and you picked up on it immediately. You took things at face value. Sometimes you need to read between the lines. Ask me about both of these things together. You're ready. Forget last time. Remember why you're doing all this in the first place. To help those people. To find Professor Alderby's killer. And to stop the spread of infectious madness. The easiest path to follow, once you're seduced by its riches. Is there anything else you'd like to ask about before you go? Then, please continue. Yeah, hopefully. With therapists like ourselves battling to help people. If you don't remember, it's probably best that way. Combining 3 ideas at once would blow most people's minds. But in some cases, it also allows you to dig very deeply. Be careful, Doctor. Is there anything else you'd like to ask about before you go? Okay. If you need anything, anything at all, you know where to find me. Good luck, my friend.
Doctor? Doctor, are you okay? You fainted. Follow this. Well, you seem okay now, and you take instruction very well. You'll be replacing Dr. Dekker, but before you meet any of his patients, I need you to know that one of them killed Professor Alderby. Nobody told you. Dr. Dekker is missing, presumed dead. His mentor, Professor Alderby, showed up and pushed him off a cliff. Nobody knows. Alderby was killed the evening he arrived, bludgeoned to death in Dekker's office. Your office. I need to find out who did it. Can you help me do that, Doctor? The police have given up already. I'll let the patients know that you're here. Come and find me after. Oh, and Doctor, things might be a little stranger here than you're used to.
Hello, Doctor. I'm Ophelia. I'm a sculptor. Sorry, it's a bit nerve-wracking, starting again with a new doctor. What if you decide I'm mad? Well, no, but Dr. Dekker wasn't like the other doctors. My mother died a few months ago, and it's affected me more than I thought it would. Thank you. It was unexpected. Oh, not much. We had one session together, but I didn't really know him. I don't see why anyone here would, unless they knew him before. I didn't really see anyone around the time he was killed. Oh, I was on a video call from about 8:30 until 9 with a solicitor. The police have already verified it. Probate, to do with the house. She was a famous painter, Virginia Hammond. More famous now she's dead. Our relationship was not the best. I've been living in Italy since I was 16. Yes, but I'm nowhere near as successful as she was, though. Oh, I sculpt people. Well, pieces of people. Mostly heads and hands. Hands can be very expressive, but I can never get them right, though. They always seem so lifeless. Well, if you're an artist, there's no better place to study. But I didn't want to be home anymore. Not with my mother the way she was. I started seeing him about 2 weeks after my mother died. About 4 months. He had a solid, dependable name. It felt like I'd be safe telling him my secrets. Expensive. I'm a living, breathing specimen of a poor, starving artist. No, she didn't have any money left to leave. Yes, I asked him where he was. He just said he'd left, but it was only later I found out what really happened. Professor Alderby pushed Dr. Dekker off the cliff. Didn't he? I actually thought Bridget might have pushed him at first. She slammed her door that morning and started crying. I can hear everything. She's in the room next to mine. And that was about 9:10. I just finished yoga. Then I heard Mariana screaming something. A few minutes later, Bridget must have got back before Professor Alderby did. Oh, maybe we can talk about that some other time. Oh, no. I haven't created anything new since I came back home, and all my recent pieces are in Italy, along with my tools. No, I found him here. Actually, his business card was at the house. I thought maybe he'd been my mother's therapist, but when I asked him, he said he'd never met her. Um, I'm not sure. Um, no, but she taught me a lot about art. She took me to galleries when I was younger and taught me how to see like an artist. She wasn't very easy to live with, especially after she stopped painting. She drank a lot, and I thought she blamed me for everything. That's a long story. I'm not sure I want to talk about it yet. The truth is, it was easier to love her from a distance. Originally, yes, I studied marble carving in Florence, but only for a year or so. I'm mostly self-taught. There was a lot of trial and error, hence all the heads and hands. No, it wasn't that. I was hearing voices. Since I got back home after my mother died. They sounded like women's voices. I thought it was just my imagination at first, but I've only ever heard them in my mother's house. I inherited it when she died. Mm, I suppose so. I had an imaginary friend when I was younger, but that's quite common, isn't it? I grew up there. It's a big, sprawling, falling down kind of place. Echoing halls, vast dusty attics, sweeping staircases. Beautiful, but deadly. I think it might be what killed her. Yes, I think he'd read my session notes. He didn't believe they were real, though. He thought Dr. Dekker was encouraging my delusions. Believing in things that didn't exist. He said Dr. Dekker had been leading me down a dangerous path. He was wrong, anyway. He just didn't know me like Dr. Dekker did. Yes, there are people in my mother's house who shouldn't be there. Inside the walls, I can hear them whispering. Can't really tell, but it never stops. It's almost in every room of the house. That thought has crossed my mind. I was raised to imagine things that aren't there and make them real. Maybe it's just my brain malfunctioning. But I don't think so. I never sculpt real people. I just try to reveal what's in the stone. Whenever I sculpt it, it feels like I'm trying to find something. Something lost. If not the house, then something in it. She threw herself down the stairs and broke her neck. Someone from the water board. They spotted her through the window when they went to read the meter. Do you believe in ghosts, Doctor? Dr. Dekker was very open-minded. I was wondering if you were the same. Perhaps it's old and damp and things happen there. I've seen things. Things moving that shouldn't. It's hard to explain. If she did, she never said so. Once, though, she told me that she felt like the house was watching her. I just thought she was being paranoid. No, not watching, but sometimes I feel like it's aware of me. She called me the night she died. Yes, she called a few hours before they found her. It was a Wednesday, around 2 a.m. I couldn't really process what she was saying. I'm not entirely sure. She sounded cold. She just kept saying, "Don't let them take her. Don't let them take her." I couldn't get her to stop saying it, so I said, "Okay, I promise, and then the line went dead. I think it might be the house. She'd sometimes refer to it as old girl. That was the last time we spoke. It's an old house. There were always strange noises. I used to hear scratching coming from a wall in my parents' room, the master bedroom. But that stopped soon after, and I was very young then, so I don't know if I imagined it. Yes, I have caller ID. No, not really. They're muffled. You can't make out any words. It's like someone talking on the phone in another room. Not that I know of. My parents were divorced, so when I left, she was all alone. Only my mother's. They're not in my head. If they were, I'd hear them all the time, not just in my mother's house.